October 18. District Court, Courtroom Number 4. Bam, Leute, und herzlich willkommen zurück zu Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney in der Episode Turnabout Samurai, wo wir den richtigen Kinderstar, wie hieß er nochmal? Der große Typ da, genau, dankeschön, Mr. Judge, Will Powers, verteidigen müssen, der angeblich seinen Erzfeind, den Evil Magistrate, aka Jackhammer, ja, getötet haben soll. For reals. Ja, von daher würde ich sagen, jumpen wir gleich rein in die ganze Chose hier. Ja. Und ich werde bestimmt wieder ganz viele Stimmen verkacken, aber egal. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Very well. Mr. Edgeworth, your opening statement, please. The prosecution will show the court that at 2:30 p.m. on October 15, the defendant, Mr. Will Powers, killed fellow actor Jack Hammer in Studio 1 of Global Studios. It is impossible for anyone else to have committed this heinous crime. The evidence presented during the trial will all point to this fact. I see. Very well. I would like to move on to some testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, prosecution may call its first witness. Very well. I call a most familiar face, Detective Gumshoe, to the stand. Hi there, buddy. Detective, if you would briefly describe this case to the court. Yes, sir. I'll explain with the guide map here. To understand this case, it's important to grasp the layout of the studios, see? This here's the employee area. The actors did a run-through of their action scenes during the morning here. This is the main gate to the studios. The security lady that works at the studios was here at 1 p.m. on that day. Past the security station there is a gate, see? Past that are the studios. And here it is, Studio 1. This is the scene of the murder where the body was found. Now, on the day of the murder, October 15, there were only 3 people here. The victim, Jack Hammer, the defendant, Will Powers, and a young woman, the production assistant. All the protection, always wear protection, kids. All the production staff were in the employee area until noon. Then after lunch, the victim Jack Hammer went to Studio 1. Right after that, at 1 p.m, the security lady got to the guard station. Now, jump ahead to later that day, 5 p.m. The production staff came to Studio 1 to perform a rehearsal. Needless to say, the rehearsal was cancelled. The time of death was 2:30 p.m. The samurai spear found lodged in the victim's chest was the murder weapon. That's the case in brief. Anyone like to hear that again? Nee, danke. Should I listen to that whole thing again? No. I think I can probably remember that. Hoffentlich. So, the murder weapon was a spear? How medieval. Samurai spear. Okay, the spear was found stuck in the chest of the victim. Your Honor, this case is quite simple if you ask one question. And that question is, what did the security lady at the guard station see? Understood. Let's call the security officer to the stand. Och nee. Nee. Geh weg mit ihr. Nein. Will the witness declare her name? Ja, genau, sag... Oh Gott. Nein. Don't do this.
My, aren't you a handsome fellow? I'm afraid I'm a bit flustered.
Your name, please.
Oh dearie, no need for you to be embarrassed. Just call me Grandma.
Oh God. Your name, please. Seems Edward has a bit of a trouble getting his witness to say their names. Ja, stimmt. Jetzt, wo du sagst.
When you're old back, dearie. So just call me Grandma. So even when I was young, I still how the other children would make fun. Believe it? There was this boy. He called me an old bag. Well,
objection. I object to the witness' talkiveness. Objection sustained. The witness will refrain from rambling on the stand.
I was just getting to the good part, dearie.
Perhaps we can get to that testimony. Now, the witness was stationed at the main gate on the day of the murder, correct?
Yes, sir, I was.
And to get to the scene of the murder, someone would have to pass by you.
You know your stuff, dearie.
You may begin your testimony. Gut gemacht, alter Mann. Einfach nicht darauf reagieren. He sure is one hell of an old bag. Oh ja. Alles klar, witness account.
On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station at 1 p.m. Poor old Hammer and the rest had been doing a run-through since the morning. Well, I had some errands to run that morning. Anyway, it was 1 o'clock when I got to the guard station. I was at the main gate from then until 5 o'clock. Now, the murder happened at 2:30 p.m., right? Interesting to me, because certain man walked right by me at 2 p.m. It was Powers, that man right there, and he was heading towards the studio.
You saw the defendant then? Very well. Let's begin the cross-examination. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. Okay. Let's do this. Knall die alle weg. Also. Ne, also. On the day of the murder, I arrived at the guard station. Okay. Und was war dann davor? So up until that time, anyone who wanted to could go into the studio.
Well, there wasn't a security guard at the gate, no. But the main gate was locked, dearie. You need an employee card key to get in.
Right, the card key. That I have. Und zu der ich aus irgendeinem Grund Credit Card gesagt habe, als ich sie genommen habe. Na gut. What she's saying is, no one who wasn't supposed to be there could get in. Ja, ich muss mal ganz kurz, warte mal. Ich muss für mich mal eben hier den Sound ein bisschen leiser stellen. Ich hoffe, das ändert in der Aufnahme nichts. Aber es ist gerade extrem laut für mich. So. Genau. No one who was supposed to be there could get in. Zumindest niemand, der nicht zum Studio gehört. Ja, okay, das ist okay. Was there anyone at the studios when you arrived at the guard station? Poor old Hammer and the rest had been run through since the morning. Okay, ja, das ist okay. I had some errands to run that morning. Ja, das wäre vielleicht nur interessant zu wissen. Was hattest du denn so zu tun? What kind of errands?
Oh, well, you know.
Answer the question.
Actually, I was watching poor Hammer and Powers observing, you know?
Observing? Weren't you supposed to be at the guard station?
Whippersnapper! I told you I locked the gate, didn't I? I did my job.
Not sure your boss would see it that way.
Anyway, I always watch Hammer's run-throughs, always. Never missed one in all my years.
Wow, I want to see a Steel Samurai run-through too. You could quit being a spirit. You could quit. So, jetzt habe ich es richtig gelesen. You could quit being a spirit medium and take up guard duty.
Not a bad idea.
Anyway, it was 1 o'clock when I got to the guard station. Okay. Did you see the victim then?
Did I see poor old Hammer? Nope. He already gone to the studio before I got back to the guard station.
Okay, tell us what happened next. So you were watching there the whole time? No breaks? Not even a second?
Of course. I'm a professional, you know. Oh, are you criticizing how I do my job, whippersnapper?
Whippersnapper? No, it's just after seeing you eating those donuts in the guard station yesterday.
I can watch a gate and eat donuts at the same time. Snipperwapper.
Snipperwapper? Old Windbag is losing it, Nick. Why don't you raise an objection?
So, the witness was on duty through the afternoon the whole time. Very well. What did you see?
So, the murder happened at 2:30, right? Ja, bestimmt, oder? Ich guck mal kurz in meine Dings. Genau, time of death 2:30. Genau, was haben wir sonst noch? Guide Map, Card Key, Power Photo. Das Power Photo und der Speer. Okay. Interesting to me because a certain man walked right by me. It's 2 p.m. 2 p.m. You're sure?
Sure as spit.
Well, who was the man?
Really, you should try not to get so excited at your age. You might strain something. Now, don't get your skivvies.
Was ist das? Ich will es, glaube ich, gar nicht wissen.
All in a bunch. I'll tell you who it was. It was Powers.
Okay. Kannst du das beweisen? So you saw Mr. Powers?
That's what I said. Got wax near you, sonny?
Nick, this is your chance.
Yeah, time to pull out the secret weapon. Maya, zieh dich aus. Hab nichts gesagt.
I'll say it again, it was him.
Okay, wir pullen ihn raus. Wir ziehen ihn raus, den Lümmel. Was du gesehen hast, ist das hier.
Objection.
Batz! Knall den Tisch. Phoenix. Let me get this straight, old bag. Miss Old Bag. You've been saying since yesterday that you saw Mr. Powers, correct? But you're talking about the man in this photo, aren't you?
Just a moment, Mr. Wright. Let me see that photo. What is this exactly?
None other than the Steel Samurai, defender of Neo-Old Tokyo. Miss Oldbag, is this the Mr. Powers that you saw?
Of course. Didn't your mama teach you any sense, sonny? Anyone could plainly see that's Powers, right?
No, they can't.
Okay, immerhin, er ist intelligent genug, um das zu sehen. Well, I mean, I wonder. True, Mr. Powers does play the role of the Steel Samurai. But that doesn't mean Mr. Powers is the Steel Samurai.
I know that. I wasn't born yesterday.
No one in this court is accusing you of that, Miss, witness.
He's having trouble calling her old back, apparently.
However, you do not have proof that the person in this photo is Mr. Will Powers, do you?
Nosy old man. Of course I have proof.
What? Huh? Even Edgeworth is surprised. Okay. The prosecution would like to ask the witness. Please make known all of the information in your possession ahead of time.
How was I to know everyone would be so nosy? You should be ashamed, all of you. Anyway, I showed that photo to the young detective. He told me this isn't any good as evidence, pal. He didn't even give it a second look.
Gut, sogar Gumshoe wusste es. Nice. Haben alle doch noch ein bisschen Verstand. Wow, old Winback has left even Edgeworth speechless. She's good.
Let's hear about your proof, then.
The man in the photo.
I never say anything I don't mean, mind you. That morning, during the run-through of the action scene, I saw Powers trip and fall. He broke one of the props. It was a big mess. Apparently he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Now look at that picture. You can see he's dragging his leg, see? Clear as day. That's how I knew it was Powers. Happy?
Okay. Dann hat sein Knöchel verstaucht. Mhm.
So he had sprained his ankle? Very well. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
She's got to be hiding something. I'll press her until she squeals. Aber besser nicht. Ich will die nicht drücken. So, aber ist das schon genug Beweis? Ja, ist... Hat sein Knöchel verstaucht. Wow. Könnte ja trotzdem jeder sein. Na, das ist ja irgendwie... Ja. No one cares. A morning, during the action scene, ja. I saw Powers trip and fall. Okay, sag mal an. Trip and fall.
Yes, and to think he's supposed to be the Steel Samurai. What a laugh. So Powers sprained his ankle. I helped make it better for him, of course.
You helped make it better?
I kissed it where it hurt.
Then let's just skip over that part, shall we?
Where was the assistant then?
Oh, her? She was cleaning up backdrops, I think. She didn't know about Powers' ankle.
You may continue your testimony. Ja, wer davon wusste, ist halt ein Suspect, ne? Der könnte ja einfach so tun, als ob er seinen Knöchel verletzt hat. Aber wenn die Assistentin das schon mal nicht wusste, dann kann sie es ja schon mal nicht sein. Gut, die ist eh zu klein, das würde man sehen. So, he broke one of the props. Ja. He broke a prop.
Sure did. His own samurai spear.
Samurai spear, the murder weapon?
Luckily I was there with my duct tape to fix it.
Wow. Krasse Waffe ist es jetzt. This strikes me as significant detail. I'd better write this down in the court record. Okay. A break in the shaft has been mended with duct tape. Okay. Apparently he sprained his ankle pretty bad. Was Mr. Powers' ankle badly sprained?
Not so bad that he couldn't walk around. He went to his dressing room to rest up after lunch.
Just a nap.
Anyway, I saw him dragging his foot when he walked.
Dragging his foot, okay. I think we've heard enough. Haven't we, Your Honor?
Well, there is one thing that bothers me.
Which is?
Where is this Steel Samurai costume now?
That's a good point, Mr. Judge. Actually, well, we couldn't find it. We're looking, though. Anyway, that's not important. The witness did see the Steel Samurai, yes? And it is clear that this person in the Steel Samurai suit was Mr. Will Powers.
I suppose that's right.
Are you sure? Are you sure, Your Honor? Ja, object natürlich. Hold it right there. We keep talking possibilities, but we have to agree that this photo shows the Steel Samurai. Nowhere in this photo can we see Mr. Will Powers.
Defense has a point. I also wonder if someone else, not caught on camera, could have killed Mr. Hammer. We have to consider that possibility also.
Alter, hast du Smarty-Pilz gefressen heute? Zum Frühstück? Das stimmt. Then allow me to remove that doubt from your mind, Your Honor. Will the witness continue her testimony, please?
No need to ask twice.
Okay, ein weiteres Testimony. Witness account.
The time of poor Hammer's death was 2:30 p.m., true? The only person I saw go to the studio before then was Will Powers. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them.
Okay, das war ja kurz.
If no one else went to the studio, then it would have to be the Steel Samurai who did it. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Okay. Aber gab es nicht noch einen, der durchgegangen ist? Warte mal, ich muss nochmal ganz kurz hier. PS3 by Spiel. Guide where to go to studios, card key, studio employees, genau hier, Photo number 2, das meine ich. Es ist ja eigentlich noch jemand durchgegangen. Okay, the only person I saw before then was Will Powers. No one else went there. If they had, I would have seen them. Ja, ist die Frage, wo drücke ich das jetzt? Ich könnte es hier drücken. Ich könnte es hier drücken. Oder ich könnte es hier drücken. Ich press mal. Ah, meine Haare sind im Weg. Hier die krassen Corona-Haare am Start. So. Are you absolutely sure?
Oh, quite, Sonny. Nobody suspicious looking passed by at all.
Nobody suspicious looking? Right.
No one else went there.
Pressen wir hier auch mal. What about before you got to the guard station?
You mean before 1? Why, everyone was in the employee area before then. And I locked the main gate so no one could get in.
Ja, genau, weil der meterhohe Zaun ist bestimmt ein krasses Hindernis.
Not to mention,
if they had, I would have seen them. Are you sure? The witness has answered the question. Anyone going into the studio had to pass by the witness.
That's right, Sonny. You let them have it, edgy boy.
Edgy boy?
Old Winback sure has balls, or, well, you know what I mean.
Old windbags have a way of skipping over important details after all. Or for that matter, entirely forgetting them.
How convenient.
Something for you to look forward to, perhaps? No one else went there. Ich glaube, das ist das Exakteste, also das Härteste, was dagegen spricht, ne? Nee, ich wollte nicht pressen. Nicht drauf rumpressen, bitte, Phoenix. Nein. So. So, no one else went there. Warum ist es dann ein zweites Foto? Das war richtig. Nice. Hold on. Look at this photograph one more time. This photo was taken by the camera at the gate for the studios, correct?
Yes, sir, Sonny.
So, whenever anyone passes by here, it automatically takes a picture.
And here I thought you didn't know your head from a hole in the ground.
Right. Right. Anyway, it's also true that the computer in the guard station records all security cam data.
Oh, you know, if you wanted to work at a studio, we might have an opening.
That very computer printed out this photo. Notes that on the back of the photo are printed 2 words. Das ist ein bisschen mehr als 2 Wörter. October 15, 2 p.m., photo number 2.
Even I know what that means. It was taken at 2 p.m. on October the 15th. Really, Sonny?
Actually, I knew that too. The issue here is the bit at the end where it says photo number 2.
Photo number 2?
The computer only held data for 1 photo on that day. Don't you think that's odd? Shouldn't this photo be photo number 1 if it really was the only photo? Yeah, show him. Show him, boy.
Order! Please tell the court what you mean by this, Mr. Wright.
Actually, that's what I want to ask the witness. This evidence shows that not 1 but 2 people went to the studio that day. Yet there is only data for 1 of the photos. Who could have erased the data for the other photo? Only someone with access, the security lady herself.
You watch your mouth, whippersnapper. The only person I saw that day was Will Powers.
But the camera on the gate fired twice. That means 2 people went by.
Well, yes. That's what it would seem to mean.
Can the witness explain this to the court?
I don't understand these newfangled computer things. Edgy boy, help!
Believe me, I want to, but I don't know what this means either.
Some help you are. You're a whippersnapper too. Whippersnapper?
Something the matter, Miss Oldback?
That's right. I just remembered something.
Let me guess. Someone else passed by the gate. Someone other than a Steel Samurai?
Well, yes, I suppose you could put it that way.
War ja klar.
I see. Your testimony, please.
Please, the other person.
Every day after I finish my guard duties, I have one important job to do. I go through the photos recorded on the security computer and check them. I throw out any photos that aren't suspicious looking, you see. Come to think of it, now I remember throwing out one photo that day.
Miss Oldback, this is the first I've heard of this.
Well, of course, Sonny, I've only just remembered it.
Right. Anyway, Mr. Wright, please begin the cross-examination.
Well, I'd say this was a turn for the unexpected, but kind of expected this. So, every day, important job to do. I go through the photos, check them, try photos, you see, ich will eigentlich, das da will ich, genau. Was für ein Vogel hast du denn weggeschmissen? Well, who in the heck was in that photo you erased?
A fanboy.
Fanboy?
Steel Samurai fanboys. We're freaks, if you ask me. We get information about the rehearsals from gosh who knows where. They're always hanging about. One was there that day.
Wait a second. Didn't you just say no one else could get in? I locked the main gate so no one could get in. Those were your words.
Well, if you must know, there's a drain that goes into the employee area. The grate has been loose for a while. It leads outside and, well, that's where they come in.
Come in through the drain?
I told you they were freaks. Oh, and...
And?
They're kids. Children. Whippersnappers.
The kids? So, on the photo that you erased...
It was a boy. Probably 2nd or 3rd grade.
Ja gut.
What?
Ob ein Kind Mord begangen hat, wage ich zu bezweifeln.
Order! Let me get this straight. You saw 2 people pass by the gate on their way to the studios that day. One was the Steel Samurai dragging his leg, and the other was a boy who looked to be in about 2nd or 3rd grade.
Oh yes, well, we see his type here every day. Can't stop him, can't catch him.
Boy in 2nd or 3rd grade? I assume it would be hard, if not impossible, for a young boy to wield the samurai spear.
Impossible, I'd think. It's quite heavy.
Right, as I said, I didn't pay him much mind. That's why I erased the data.
Nick, what's going on?
I mean, the boy was there, that makes him a suspect.
Yeah, they're already trying to unsuspect him. Ja, aber sie haben einen guten Punkt.
This court will take a 5-minute recess. I want the defense and the prosecution to consider this new information. And not forgetting vital information this time.
Alles klar. Defendant Lowy. Mr. Powers?
Yes?
Tell me straight, were you really in your dressing room? You didn't go to the studio?
I didn't go to the studio. I was sleeping, honest.
So, who was the Steel Samurai in that security photo?
How should I know? The Steel Samurai costume was off in the corner of the dressing room. Anyone could have walked in and taken it, really.
What? You should take better care of that stuff.
I couldn't imagine anyone would want to steal a Steel Samurai costume. So, where does this leave me?
Doesn't look good. You're the only likely suspect right now.
Nick, what are we going to do?
First we play for more time. We start targeting someone else that could conceivably have done this.
Right. And it'll take them so long to shoot us down that we can get another day.
Right, but if we pick the wrong person, we might lose on the spot.
You don't sound very optimistic.
I'm not optimistic at all, actually.
Hey Nick, it's time.
Okay, let's go.
What does that mean? Please don't sigh like that.
Okay, wir müssen jemanden finden, dem wir das Ganze anhängen können. Ein bisschen Zeit schinden.
Court will now reconvene for the trial of Mr. Will Powers. Mr. Edgeworth, will you present the prosecution's thoughts on this matter?
The prosecution's thoughts are simple. Nothing has changed. The other person who went to the studios was a boy of roughly 10 years of age. The photo we do have may not be hard evidence, but there is still no one else that could have committed this crime. I call for a verdict of guilty for the defendant, Mr. Will Powers.
Very well. Mr. Wright, your thoughts?
The defense disagrees with the prosecution's claim.
There
Is another person who could have committed this crime. Tell him.
Order. Interesting. Let us hear who you have in mind. However, be aware that this court does not look kindly on accusing the innocent. If you accuse someone who is obviously innocent, you will be penalized.
Right.
Great.
As if the stakes weren't high enough.
So, who was this person other than Mr. Powers that could have committed murder?
Okay, also wir verlieren Leben. Ich weiß gar nicht, ob das schon mal der Fall war, dass wir Leben verlieren konnten. Auf jeden Fall, wir sehen hier oben rechts hier das rot blinkende. Das ist das Leben, das wir verlieren würden, wenn wir jetzt eine falsche Antwort geben. Und wenn unser Leben leer ist, dann haben wir verkackt. Dann sind wir Game Over. So, also. Wer könnte noch das Ding sein? Also die Assistant Girl. Sie wusste, also Powers ist er nicht ins Studio gegangen, laut seiner Aussagen. Wir glauben ihm ja. Das heißt, irgendjemand anderes war im Kostüm. Wer, wissen wir nicht. War die Assistentin im Kostüm? Könnte sein, wobei sie nicht wusste, dass er eine Verletzung hatte. Von daher würde es keinen Sinn machen, dass sie ihr Bein nachzieht. Und sie wäre wahrscheinlich auch zu klein. Könnte aber wahrscheinlich die Waffe tragen und ja, benutzen. Der Boy, ja, kann halt die Waffe nicht wirklich benutzen. Das macht auch nicht wirklich Sinn. Er kommt zwar vorbei, oder von der Kamera gesehen, ne, er ist vorbeigekommen. Und, konnte er, wie gesagt, die Waffe nicht wirklich tragen. Was noch übrig bleibt, ist die Security Lady, die natürlich die Waffe tragen könnte, durch die Kamera gehen könnte und im Nachhinein das Foto Nummer 3, was dann geschossen werden würde, löschen. Das heißt, es wäre eine Möglichkeit, dass sie es getan hat. Von daher bleibt eigentlich nur die Security Lady. Yes. It was a security lady, Wendy Oldbag. Huh? The Steel Samurai is dragging... Oh, oder sie war im Kostüm, das kann natürlich auch sein. Stimmt. Sie muss ja nicht einfach so vorbeigegangen sein. The Steel Samurai is dragging his leg in this picture. That means whoever was in the suit knew about that morning's injury. Maybe because they had been watching the action scene run through. There was only one person other than Powers and Hammer who knew about the injury. The security lady Oldback.
What? Whippersnapper?
Order, order. Is this true, Oldback?
Oldback? That's Miss Oldback to you.
Miss Oldback was standing guard alone at the main gate. She was by herself. In other words, she has no alibi. She could have briefly left her post to steal the Steel Samurai costume. Stimmt. Then slipped into Studio 1, the scene of the murder.
Why would she go through the trouble of wearing the Steel Samurai costume?
Simple, Your Honor. To frame. She knew the camera at the gate would take her picture. If she was in his costume, she could point a finger at Mr. Powers.
I see. Excellent deductive reasoning, Mr. Wright.
Oh yeah, right here. Sherlock Holmes 2, baby. That's odd. Isn't this the part where Edgeworth pounces? Doesn't he usually jump up with an objection and some new damning evidence? Das stimmt. Normalerweise wäre jetzt schon längst eine Objection gefallen.
Well, Mr. Edgeworth, does the prosecution have an opinion on this matter?
Er überlegt. The prosecution has no meaningful objections at this time.
What? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, so y'all think I did it? Is that it? Edgy boy, don't just sit there, do something.
What's my move? Maybe now's my chance to take this the whole way. Yeah, give Granny a break. Never! The very same reasoning that makes Mr. Powers a suspect in this case can be used to cast doubt on Miss Oldback's actions on that day.
But why would I do something so horrible to poor Hammer?
You forget that Mr. Powers lacks a clear motive too.
Indeed.
That did it. Now Winback is one of the suspects. No hard feelings, I hope. Naja, bei dem Gesichtsausdruck.
Wait just a minute. What about the other person who went to the studio? The boy, the one whose photo I erased.
He's only a grade schooler though, as you said, second or third grade, was it?
But that doesn't matter. When he was at that age, I could pin my old man in 10 seconds tops.
Your thoughts, Mr. Wright?
That boy is not a killer.
What? How can you be so sure? Oh, or is it be nice to the kids and mean to your eldest day, whippersnapper?
I have proof.
Proof?
Indeed. Then let's see this proof, Mr. Wright. You have proof that shows the boy could not have committed this murder?
Hab ich das? Ja. Also, Moment. Der Boy, also wenn sie jetzt nicht das Gewicht der Waffe meinten. Also der Boy ist in der Employee Area reingekommen, ne? Ist vorbeigesneakt, das Foto wurde gelöscht, war dann in Studio One. Und was dann? Das, oder? Er kann doch gar nicht rein. Weil Studio One, ja, wobei, vielleicht ist es offen, wenn sie drin sind. Ich weiß nicht, aber sollte es nicht geschlossen sein? Der Boy hatte keine Keycard, der kommt ja nicht ins Studio rein. So gesehen. Er kann nur bis vor die Tür. Ich glaube, ich mache das. Oder der Speer. Aber das haben wir vorhin schon diskutiert. Ich probiere es mit der Card Key. The scene of the murder, as you all know, was Studio One.
Ah, ich glaube, es war richtig.
However, you need a card key to enter Studio One. How could a boy with no formal relation to the studio have a card key?
I see. Well, would the readers care to comment on this one? The Winback, speechless. This has got to be a first. Very well. This court will suspend proceedings on the current trial for today. Mr. Edgeworth, please find out more about your witness, Miss Windy. What was her name?
Something, old bag, Your Honor. Wow, professionell.
Then the prosecution will look further into this old bag before we continue.
Hallo? Ich glaube nicht, dass Edgeworth da reingucken will.
That is all. This court is adjourned.
Das war ja einfach. Okay. Na dann. Oh,
Wait a second! I'm not going to just sit here while you run off barking up the wrong tree, man. Me. I'm talking!
Oh, great. Stop the presses. The windbag wants to talk. Miss Oldbag, what is this all about? Have you omitted something from your testimony?
Actually, if you must know, there's something I was told not to talk about.
not to talk about?
By whom?
Huh? You mean it wasn't Edgeworth who told her not to talk?
Well, testify.
Okay, my lips were sealed. Okay, war doch nicht so einfach. Okay.
Global Studios wanted me to keep quiet about something.
Okay, Global Studios also.
There were some other people at the studios on the day of the murder. They said they had nothing to do with it, see? So they told me to just pretend they hadn't been at the studios that day. But if you're going to go accusing me, I'm not letting them get away scot-free.
Okay.
Miss Oldbag, this is crucial information. Why did you keep this from the court until now?
Ain't you been listening? They told me to shut my trap, and I always do what I'm told.
Oh, this isn't a bad dream, Your Honor. Witness the power of the old bag.
Mr. Wright, your cross-examination.
Okay. There are some other people at the studios. Ja, und wer? Who were these people?
Well, the director and the producer, for starters.
The Director? Ja, ist eigentlich klar, bei einem Rehearsal sollte wahrscheinlich der Director anwesend sein. Würde ich jetzt mal behaupten. We should have known something was fishy. How could they have done a run-through of their action scene without the director? Ja, eben. Of course.
Yes, well, I was surprised no one asked about it.
Ja, eigentlich. Ja. So, where were those people?
The director was in the employee area all morning for the run-through. He joined the producer around lunchtime. And they had a meeting after that.
Where?
Oh, in the Studio 2 trailer.
Studio 2? There was a Studio 2? Phoenix, come on.
Well, if you look at the guide map, here it is. You go through the gate and all the way to the left. The path where the monkey's head was fallen over.
Well, Mr. Wright, would you like to continue the cross-examination?
I think I've already asked all my questions, but... Hast du? Ja, we continue natürlich. They said they had nothing to do with it. Mrs. Oldbag, this is a trial for murder.
I know that's silly. Still, they were pretty convincing about having nothing to do with it. And they gave me a little bonus on the side.
So you got your bonus and you still talked. I think I've asked all the questions I have to ask. Okay. Warum bist du denn... Soll ich einfach aufhören, oder wie? Ich probier's mal, take a break. Your Honor, we have learned there were others at Global Studios on day in question. The director and the producer and some bigwigs were all present. Yet, as we stand here, they have not been questioned. I hold that it is impossible to declare a verdict on the defendant Mr. Will Powers.
Court acknowledges the defense's point. Prosecution will gather more information about the witness, Miss Oldback, and more information about those other people we have just been told of.
Oh, er sieht sehr glücklich aus.
I understand, Your Honor. This ends today's proceedings in the trial of Mr. Will Powers. That is all. This court is adjourned.
Okay. This time for real? This time for real. Defendant lobby.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wright. I was right to ask you to defend me.
Oh, really, it's nothing. Oh, or should I?
We'll be going down to the studios to do some more investigating. We have to find out more about this director and producer. They'll be turning up in the next trial as witnesses for certain. So now's my chance to get material for the cross-examination.
So, Nick, have you figured out just who it was in the Steel Samurai costume? Could it really have been old Winback?
What do you think, Mr. Powers?
I don't think it was her, really.
Neither do I, Nick.
Yeah, I know. Look, I was just buying time back there. Someone had to be the bad guy for a bit to take the pressure off Mr. Powers.
Poor old Winback, I kind of feel sorry for her.
Well, she wasn't winning any points in there, with or without my accusation. Okay, let's get down to the studios.
Right, we'll be back to visit you very, very soon.
Thanks, guys.
Alter, die alte Tränentüte. To be continued. So. Haben wir das Ganze wieder überstanden. Und haben erfahren, dass scheinbar noch mehr Leute anwesend waren. Director und Producer vor allem. Und die werden wir dann wohl im nächsten Part ein bisschen unter die Lupe nehmen. Und gucken vielleicht, was sich in Studio 2 befindet. Ja. Da würde ich sagen, gibt es eigentlich gar nicht mehr viel zu labern hier. Und wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal wieder. Bis dahin. Macht's gut, Leute. Ich hoffe, es hat euch gefallen. Und tschö.